On the eve of Anzac Day, my question is, why did so many people die for Australia during the previous wars? Well, obviously to protect the home and your family. Stan, I'm here with my daughter. She's desperate to buy a place in Sydney, and the property market to this date is ridiculous. I don't think politics is going to fix the problem, nor governments. So I'm suggesting, because you might explain this to Sophie, Stan, Australia exports minerals worth hundreds of billions of dollars each year. A 5% levy will pay for a backlog of housing. I suggest a state of origin competition for each state making housing affordable. Let's face it, Australians love a contest.
I will go to Sophie as an outsider on this. You may not be familiar with state of origin, but if you're in New South Wales and Queensland, there's not too much more important in a year than a rugby league state of origin match. But to that idea of making things fairer, you've faced this in your own country. We see this around the world, a younger generation squeezed out of the housing market, and increasing wealth gap. What impact is that having on us socially?
Well, it has a huge impact. This generation of young people are the first generation who are likely to fare worse than their parents. So for many centuries, the life chances of our younger people have got better than their parents. But actually, in terms of measures like housing, like the economic impacts of climate change that our younger generations will be paying the price of, issues in terms of life expectancy actually starting to plateau in many areas. There are some really big concerns for our younger generations, and indeed those generations who are yet to be born. And that's why having a government which has legal duties to think to the long term, and let me just spend a moment saying the 5 principles by which our government in Wales has to operate. They must consider the long-term impact of the things that they do and long-term trends and scenarios. They must prevent problems from occurring or from getting worse. They must take a holistic and integrated approach. So this is recognising the connections between things. To your point on housing, housing isn't just about, a physical roof over your head. Actually, the World Health Organization tells us that our living conditions, the quality of our homes, do we live in areas of high air pollution, do we have access to nature, that actually makes 29% of the difference as to whether we live to a ripe old age or we die younger than we should. 29%.
And just on that, Taylor, as someone who's the youngest here on the panel this evening, and listening to the story there from Geoff about his daughter's own desire to buy a house and the difficulties of buying a house, how do you feel about this as a young person? Is this something that is an aspiration that is achievable, do you think, for yourself?
I consider myself very lucky. I'm the first person in my family to buy a home. And I look to my mates who are in private renting, who are just struggling to keep their head above the water at the moment. And with respect to the politicians on the panel, like a lot of the time, the people up here often forget to communicate with the people down here at the grassroots level, the working class. And I may not have the answers, but that's where the answers are.
And you see people not only squeezed out, but people, of course, who are renting and can't find a place to live, can't put a roof over their head.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And there are young people where they've been kicked out of their house because their landlord has said, we're selling the house over the next couple of months. And then only to go back a month later and have a look at that line and it's have a look online at that house and it's vacated because they've upped the price in rents. They just wanted new tenants. Or, when I've previously worked in the social justice department, I've had gentlemen that are about 70 years old sleeping on a park bench because they don't know, they can't navigate the system for one, and there's nowhere to go. This is our society.
Nina, is it, Nina? Good luck getting a house. And thank you, Geoff, for the question. I'll leave it with the